But what does a real man look like based on scriptures? So let's look at the Bible. Now let's begin with Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 9 to 16. Let me first of all show you how the Shulamite described her beloved. Now, what is your beloved more than another beloved, O fairest amongst women? What is your beloved more than another beloved that you so charge us? What was she charging them? Verse 6. Remember, if you know this story, her beloved came knocking on the door, but she said she had already put off her robe and she didn't want to come out of the bed. By the time she made up her mind to come out of the bed, her beloved that was knocking at the door had already gone. So she said, I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had turned away and was gone. My heart leaped when he spoke. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. Verse 7. The watchmen who went about the city found me. They struck me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls took my veil away from me. Verse 8. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him I am what? So she was looking for her beloved. It's on the basis of that in verse 9, the daughters of Jerusalem were now saying, what makes your beloved so special amongst other beloveds? Why is he so special? Why is he so special that you are telling us, if you find my beloved, help me tell him that I'm love sick? Basically, they were asking, why do you want us to help you look for this man that you are in love with? She now began to tell them a story. Verse 10. My beloved is white and ruddy, chief among how many? 10,000. Next verse. His head is like the finest gold. His locks are wavy and black as a what? Raven. 12. His eyes are like doves by the rivers of water, washed with milk and fitly set. He doesn't have 4:30. Are you with me? Next verse. His cheeks, Meluvanama, are like a bed of spices, banks of scented herbs. His lips are like lilies, dripping liquid myrrh. 14. His hands are rods of gold set with beryl. His body is carved ivory inlaid with what? So even these Songs of Solomon woman, her emphasis was on what? The looks of the man. There's nothing spiritual she has said about him. She didn't speak about his prayer life. She didn't speak about his love for God. She didn't speak about anything. It was just his physical looks. First thing I need to say to you, there is nothing wrong with your looks or working on your looks as a Christian brother. There is nothing wrong with getting an education. There is nothing wrong with seeking exposure. There is nothing wrong in working on the areas that the world considers as the measurement of true masculinity. But the first thing that sets apart a godly man from a man in the world is that you are pursuing godliness, but you are still giving time to these areas of your life. Did you hear what I said? Let me read it to you how I wrote it. A godly man pursues godliness while still retaining masculinity. That's a godly man. He pursues godliness, but he retains his masculinity. His masculinity in his looks. Not all of us are going to be bodybuilders, but at least you should pay attention to the way you look. And I've said to you before, I think it was in the last brothers meeting that we had, things like beauty, things like handsomeness are relative. Have you heard me say that before? What do I mean by they are relative? Have you ever heard the phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder? They are relative in the sense that how do you measure handsome? They are immeasurable. What is the indices for handsome? What is the indices for beauty? How do you know that one person is more beautiful than the other? How do you know that one person is more handsome than the other? What the world tries to do is give you an image of what they consider handsome. And what Christians try to do is try to measure up and meet that image. Are you with me? Even among sisters, there's an image that has been generated by the world, especially the West, that if you claim to be a woman, this is the way you should look. So even brothers, when they are thinking about a woman to marry, they have an image in their mind of what a beautiful woman should look like. So when they are doing advert for shampoo, have you noticed that there are certain kinds of women that they pick? Are you with me? It's programming to give you the impression that this is what beauty is. This is what a handsome man is. So if you don't look like this, you are not handsome. If you don't look like this, you are not beautiful. So everybody is in a rat race to look like an image that is not the Bible. Are you here? So you're not going to be more handsome, or the definition of handsome is not what the world has made it. The definition of handsome is based on two things: how you see yourself, and the person that is coming into your life, how they see you. Is relative. For instance, what I will consider beautiful might not be what you will consider beautiful. And if not that we are in RCN, I would have done an experiment now. If this was a normal maybe class, I'm doing motivational talk somewhere, I would have done that experiment. I can bring 3 sisters here now, and bring 7 brothers. I assure you, each of those 7 brothers will have different opinions about those 3 sisters, and each of those 3 sisters will have different opinions about those 7 brothers. Are you with me? So beauty is relative, handsomeness is relative, looks are relative. Have you ever had this experience that you went to a wedding? You went to a wedding, then you looked at the sister and then looked at the brother, and you say, na night the guy take toaster na night. I know you've never had that experience. We are too holy to think those kind of things. But have you ever had that kind of experience? It's not you the person is marrying. Are you with me? The person that is getting married has looked at that person, and to them his hands are like rods of gold. His head, what I like the head one. Show me the head. The head is which verse? The head is which verse? So his head is like the finest gold. His head, head. So it is relative. You cannot now begin to beat yourself over something, especially you didn't have control over it. You didn't make yourself. Are you with me? So there's going to be someone that is going to come into your space that will recognize that you are like the finest gold, because beauty and handsomeness is relative.